One of the most poignant stories in the Torah is the one about Joseph and his brothers. Brothers sell Joseph, and ultimately they're reunited with him after Joseph acts as if he doesn't know his brothers, and he tortures them. He puts them through grueling times until finally Joseph cannot hold it in any longer, and he cries out, "I am Joseph. Is my father still alive?" Is my father still alive? Commentators wonder. Joseph was just talking to his brother Yehuda about his father. No less than 5 times does he mention his father. Obviously, he knew his father was alive. So one of the answers is that Joseph was incredulous. He says, "I am Joseph, and look what I did by leaving my father and not communicating with him, and my father is still alive." This is an expression of incredulity. He's amazed that his father could still be alive in spite of the separation that he experienced with Joseph. There's a deeper message in this. Joseph represents modernity. The word Yosef means to add, to grow, to develop, to innovate. And the modern world is constantly innovating, constantly adding on new things. And then you have the father, Jacob, the father, the symbol of the traditional teachings and ways of the old country, of the old world. And Joseph senses there's this tension over here. And perhaps this explains why the brothers sold him, because they saw in him a revolutionary, someone who's going to change things, someone who's going to innovate. And they wanted to preserve the old ways. So what do? They send him south, literally, to Egypt. Your modern way of looking at life is good in Egypt, maybe, but not in Israel, not in the Holy Land. And Joseph was sensitive to this dichotomy, to this conflict between modernity and the old ways. But Joseph was able to preserve the synthesis between the two. And therefore Joseph says, "I am Joseph, and my father is still alive." In other words, my experiment succeeded. My modernity, in quotation marks I would say, was not a conflict to me keeping a faithful connection to my father's ways. We're living in a world where we have that conflict between modernity and the old ways. And there are some people who say, let's be modern, let's join the crowd. And there are others who say, let's shun the modern world. And Judaism says, the way it's expressed through this story of Joseph and his brothers, that Ani Yosef, yes, we have the right, and not only the right, but the obligation to take advantage of the modern world, as long as we remember that my father Jacob is still alive, and that it not only doesn't conflict with Jacob, but it actually serves as an instrument. For example, this very medium that we're using, the internet and the modern technological means of communication, it's part of the Yosef. That Yosef has value because it reflects the teachings of Yaakov. In fact, the Zohar says that before the Messianic age, and it predicts when the changes will take place in the world, the fountains of secular knowledge will explode together with the fountains of Torah knowledge, the mystical knowledge. That will be a preparation for the Messianic age, when there'll be a complete synthesis between the modern world and its instruments with the world of Jacob. Ani Yosef, I am Joseph. I stand for modernity, for adding on. But Od of Avichai, my father is still alive. It hasn't affected my relationship with my father and his ways one iota.